Alright, so real talk, has anyone ever told you that you are drinking too much or you have a drinking problem? Well, if you're someone like me, I too ignored those sayings that were often brought up to me. And in this video, I'm gonna give you guys 10 signs that you are drinking too much. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Jamie Dottie Garza, and it's time to ignite your sobriety. Like I said earlier, maybe you've been told that you are drinking too much. It might be by a loved one. It might be by a friend. It might be by strangers that you don't know. However, you might be at a function or a party and they might say nonchalant, "Whoa, man, you're drinking a lot. You drink a lot." And maybe you brushed it off like, "JC, get that dirt off your shoulder." Because guess what? That was me. And I am someone who has battled alcoholism for about 15 years of my life. And now I am embarking over 650 days sober upon recording this video as of April 18th, 2022. So I've been there and I reflect a lot of my past life and how now I can dissect like, wow, there were signs everywhere. People were telling me I was drinking. My own abuela would tell me, "Mijo, you're gonna mess up your liver. Stop drinking so much. Stop drinking straight. Don't be like your abuelo." My abuelo used to be one who just drank and didn't eat. Like, I thought it was manly, like, yo, if I'm a drink, I'm a drink. I'm not going to eat till I'm done drinking. My abuela did not feel that same way. I ignored that. I ignored friends who told me, "Oh, you drink a lot." I've ignored women in my life who told me I had a drinking problem because I was like, what do you know? But back to the topic at hand. The first sign is that your tolerance increases. No longer is it the fact that you can get a nice buzz after a 6-pack. You probably graduated to the 12-pack. No longer are you getting a buzz when you're sipping a pint of Hennessy. No, you're going for the fifths now. The fifths turn into liters. It takes more alcohol to get you to that feeling right state. And that's someone, I'm talking about me right now, because I remember a phase in my life, the older I got, the more I was able to drink more. And I got so addicted to that feeling of just feeling on cloud nine, no worries in the world, just feeling numb, happy, vibrant. These are all things I thought because I was masking alcohol for a lot of things. You can see in the other videos. But what would happen, my tolerance would get boosted. So it would take more alcohol to get me to that right feeling, to a point where it was a tease to drink a 2 or 3 beers. I would feel nothing. I wouldn't feel anything, maybe going on 6. I had to go above that. So if you're someone out there and your tolerance is up and you're not getting as lit quick as you used to, yeah. Another sign is withdrawal symptoms. Now, I've elaborated about my personal issue with these in about 2015. I recall drinking a lot alone by myself. My drink of choice at the time was Hennessy, cognacs. And I recall it was a regular afternoon at 1 p.m. and I realized your boy was just having the shakes. Like, you see how my hand is right now? It was going like this. And out of nowhere, it wasn't cold outside. It was hot summer day. It was a summer, I think 2015, if I'm not mistaken, 2016. And that's when I realized, wait, something, my body's trying to tell me something. Of course, I didn't dive too deep in it at the time. It's me now doing the research about it as a 34-year-old and reflecting back on my experiences that I realized I was having withdrawal symptoms. And that was at a phase I was trying to cut back a little bit, you know, trying to see what my life could be without alcohol. But again, it started with the idea before I went fully sober. Other symptoms, irritability. I remember I didn't have no patience. And when you have kids, you're going to need some patience. I was very irritable. I was also sweating profusely. Like, it could be like regular and I would get hot all the time. I was excessive sweating. I've always been filming, but I was like drenched in sweat all the time. I used to have a lot of these to pat my sweat or towels on my head because I was sweating so much, but really it was because of the dang on alcohol. Which leads into the third sign, was being only happy when drinking. I eventually became that guy, that I could only be the most happiest when there was a drink in my hand and drinks all in my cup, drinks all in my system. And no longer was just a thing of a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It was during the week, my weekdays. Alcohol was my go-to for everything. Let's make anything interesting. No, person, I don't want to listen to you. Wait, what would make this better? A drink. I laugh about that now, but it wasn't really funny because at the time, that's how it was real. I exactly felt like that. Going to functions, going to parties, going to out and about. Even, I remember a time networking events. I would want to have a drink there. I would want to drink. I would want to drink with everything, even creating, editing videos, making videos. Drinks made everything and me happier. There was no sense of me being irritable when I had a drink in me. And I should have known then, and that was a clear sign that, boy, you have a drinking problem. Sign number 4 is neglecting your responsibilities. Now, me personally, I didn't get too much into this because the only responsibilities I had at the time before I had kids and I was married, I think in like 2015, was just, making some money, creating, paying my bills, paying my car, boom, that was my responsibilities. So I wouldn't necessarily neglected those responsibilities. However, I look back now, what I could have accomplished earlier if I just took out the time and focus to grind things out. I could have saved a lot more money. I could have saved a lot more time. I could have cut all the fat out and just be like, wow, with my wife right now and built a family then and just been one track minded and not let these other girls try to distract me. All that could have been avoided with alcohol. However, I do see a lot of posts and a lot of things on social media of even some who neglect their child or their responsibilities of going to work or handling business or remembering things that are important because they neglect that because they go to a bottle of alcohol. Another sign that you're drinking way too much is failed attempts to stop drinking. Have you ever been that person who says you're gonna stop for a week or you're only gonna drink on the weekends or you're gonna cut for the month and then always go back into your old habits? Well, me too. I was that person too. I initially wanted to quit in 2016 and I remember quitting for a full month, maybe 2 months. And then I would go back, oh, only on the weekends. I can handle that. Let's do, more times. And I could never fully commit to staying sober longer than maybe 30, 60 days. And in between, I was trying to take away, maybe I won't drink hard liquor. Let's just go to the champagne, or let's just do beer, or let's do wine only. It was always an excuse of what to, because in my mind, it was like, well, this is better than this, so rather do this. In reality, alcohol is alcohol, poison is poison. Poison. Remember that song, Poison? That girl is poison. Another sign is drinking in risky situations. Yeah, I'm talking risky. Like my granny says, you could be a fool, but don't be no damn fool. Like being a damn fool. I'm talking about going to the bar, getting completely wasted, and not calling the Uber. Being like, yo, I'm good. Oh, I'm the best drunk driver ever. Putting not only you at risk, but most importantly, everyone else around you at risk. Yeah, I've done that a few times. I'm not proud of how many times I felt superior, that I felt like I was the man just because I could drink more than a few drinks and make it home or be a great driver. At least I thought. I'm sure that was full cap. And grace of God, that God just let me, in His mercy, let me make it past that and learn from it and not mess up my future and still being here for you guys to record this, but most importantly, not harming any others out there, because we're talking motor vehicles right here. I see all the time in my town, everyone getting DUIs, and some good friends of mine, even some family members, DUIs. And it's tragic, especially now we have a lot of lifts and a lot of car services. It's not like back in the day, like, oh, let me call a taxi. I never lived in New York City. I'm in Virginia. That's a risky situation. Maybe you're putting yourself in there and this is a sign that you need to fall back from the drinking, homie. Or maybe it's too, like if you want to get a heavier buzz, and that's mixing alcohol with prescription drugs. Guilty as charged too. I remember popping some oxys, Percocets, and just taking that feeling to the next level, drinking a beer next to it, or drinking some vodka with it. I was just mixing it all up. And at the time, I was in my early 20s, experimenting, as you say, but that could have led to some big riskier situations. I could have got addicted to those drugs. Who knows how my body would have been receptive to them type of drugs getting mixed in me. That's what I mean by drinking in risky situations. Another way, man, this is like a conviction of myself. I'm not proud of saying all these things because I'm guilty as charged of all these signs, y'all. Like I'm there. I was there, okay? Normalizing toxic behaviors and having entitlement. I did this a lot, especially the more I drank. And if I was around some of my friends and my peers and we would have good drunk talks and then, puffing a cig to take it even a notch, and I was already feeling on top of the world because I was directing music videos and I was an artist and I wanted to always create. I always felt entitled that I was better than everybody. I think I shared this in a previous video, but I would drunk call a lot of people middle of the night and just have these ideas and ramble. And I felt like it was the most important. I felt like I was doing them a favor. And if they didn't pick up the phone, they was missing out. Like, that's some entitlement stuff right there. At the time, I was a little player. I remember just being so toxic. Like, I was very passive aggressive, but I would like lead girls on, get what I wanted, keep flirting and keep enticing them, get what I wanted and fall back. And it was just a never ending cycle. Lead girls on and then get mad at them when they wanted to be boyfriend and girlfriend because I had them confused. That is toxic. Another sign, oh man, drinking more than needed. Yes, this is why I went completely alcohol free and I have to not drink any alcohol. I know there's some comments below. They're like, oh, it's only good. You can have one here and there. I wish I was that type of person. I wish I was the only person, oh, let me have a glass of wine or pour me up. No, give me more. Give me the whole bottle. Give me the case. Let me stand on some couches. Let me get the bottle service. That's why I cannot drink even a sip. And I realized I became more that person because even if we're just sitting down and we're just catching up, yo, we got any more beer? Let's go get more. That was me. Cravings. Experiencing those strong cravings or those urges to drink. I remember a time, 2014, especially 2014 to 2015, I would just be so happy. I would work so hard. I would accomplish so many videos. I would get so much editing done. I was like, yeah, all my work, boom, boom, boom. I cannot wait to after dinner so I can punish this pint of Hennessy. Or I can unwind with this Bombay and Red Bull. And I remember those cravings. I was so addicted to alcohol, y'all. I remember I would just be able to taste the air, taste it like already like a prerequisite of the taste of the cognac numbing my gums as before I bought it. And I thought I was just having fun, y'all. And it's sad to talk like that because I never saw a problem with it. But in reality, those cravings were making me very dependent on alcohol. Which leads into a bonus I want to share. And that's a sign of mental health. Maybe you're getting more anxious. Maybe you're having anxiety more. Maybe you're becoming more depressed. Maybe you're feeling like the world would be better without you. Maybe you feel lonely and alone, that no one understands you. Maybe you don't have goals for the future because you feel like there's no future. And it could be very dark. I know a lot of people, and transparently saying, a lot of people look at me as a light, as someone who's positive, who has a lot of energy. But they don't know my full story of what I went through and how I was numbing myself with alcohol. And I want you guys to be conscious if you're becoming more affected and you're not feeling right. I challenge you guys to withdraw from the alcohol because alcohol makes it worse. Now, I'm already somebody who battles with mental health. And I gotta do a lot of things. Prayer, of course, in my life. I gotta rework all my systems to be able to be quote unquote at ease, right? But what I realized over this almost 2 years of being alcohol free is the fact that I have been set free. And I'm thankful that the Lord let me feel this. But I realized that alcohol was just intensifying all those issues of mental health in me. And if that's someone out there for you, take this as a sign to start putting things in action so you can ignite your sobriety. As we wrap things up, in conclusion, guys, I really be sharing some of my most vulnerable moments at my time, and it's because I always made a promise to myself that if I was able to be delivered from quitting alcohol, that I would share this information with the world. I appreciate all the comments and people relating to the content I make, because the truth about it is this: everything I mentioned in this video, I personally went through. This is proven. And if any of these signs point at you, just know that we all go through it. And we're all in this together. It's not pointing you out to think that, yeah, I'm casting stones at you. It's just a fact to acknowledge it and just understand that there's light on the other side. And let this be a message for you to try sobriety, to try to give up alcohol and make the first steps. If you guys enjoyed this content, you know what to do. Smash that like button for me. Drop in the comments below if this content was relatable. Tell me about your story. Tell me about your journey, where you're at. I enjoy reading and responding to every comment. Let's continue to build this community. And if you want to take it a step further, in the first pinned comment below, you can check out my course on the 3-step blueprint to alcohol-free living. You click that and ignite your sobriety, ignite your sobriety.